So this is going to be Leticia Collins Part 10. And I did make a video and uh, I had to delete it because my sound, I guess my mic was off, so you couldn't hear me. And this was a few days back. So, anyways, a lot has happened since then. Um, so I'm basically going to talk about a few things, and then I'll be making another video on some other things that's been going on. So basically, on my last video that I had to delete, I was just talking about how she was on Instagram and she was doing videos there because she was on a ban from YouTube. She is now back on YouTube. She got that ban from her attempt video. So she is back on YouTube making lots of videos. Now, she did get her car back, and everybody was wondering where she went for a few days after she was released from the hospital. This is the second time. This was after the attempt she made, and they were trying to figure out where she went because she said she went somewhere. Um, and she was doing a lot of talking about, selling herself for pot, because we hear that a lot in a lot of her videos, that she is going to, she's telling people, hey, if you want a piece, um, you know, uh, I have no money, but we can exchange, for some pot because she needs that. And on one of her Instagram videos as well, well, she does this a lot too. Um, she just, she finds herself disgusting, her body, and she's very whiny about it. She also does that a lot too. She's very whiny about, ew, look at my belly, yuck, oh, it's so disgusting. She's been pregnant before. So, that's what happens when you're pregnant. Your body goes through changes. You get bigger. You'll get stretch marks a lot of times, and you're uncomfortable. Uh, you know, this is nothing new to her. She has went through this, and she just acts like, that she's the only woman that, in my opinion, she's acting like she's the only woman that has ever been uncomfortable being pregnant. And, yes, it's got to be, worse staying in your vehicle and it being the summer, and she is very pregnant, heavily pregnant. And for those that still might want to think that this is a fake pregnancy, no. I am very convinced because I have seen many videos with, you can see the baby moving and not just moving. Um, because some people are still saying, gas. No, no, she's pregnant. She's definitely pregnant. Because sometimes you can see, us women that have given birth before, been pregnant, you can see when that baby moves, kind of the head, the bum, the feet. Um, because a lot of people were still wondering, is she really pregnant or did she just gain a lot of weight? No, she's definitely, definitely pregnant. The only question is, when is she actually due? Because we really don't know for sure who the father of this child is. But she's very whiny in the video that she did on Instagram, and just, moaning and groaning on, how fat she is and how disgusting her belly is, and just, the typical whining. One thing that I did notice was she is not talking about harming the baby like she would do in her other videos. That, a lot of her other videos, that we would see, she would talk about, she's going to harm this baby before it's born, after it's born. She seems to stop doing that, even though she still calls this baby, unborn child, some vile names. She seems to, as the due date is getting closer, she seems to not do that as much. That's one thing that I am noticing. But for those 3 days, it seems like she was staying at her mother's. She did go back, and her mother took her back in. And when I did that video, more came to light on what's going on. And I'm not going to get into that on this video. I will do another video and talk about that. But so I'm going to have to redact some of the things that I'm going to talk about on this video. But she was, like I said, she was staying at her mom's. Her mom took her back. And, she has the choice. It doesn't seem like her mom kicked her out of the home. She made the choice, or she's making the choice, to stay in the vehicle. Yes, it might not be ideal for her to be at her mother's house because her brother is still there as well. And like I said, more has come to light, but I'm still going to say some of the things. I'm going to redact. Like I said, this is really confusing because now I know a little bit more, but I still want to say some of the things that was in the video that I had to delete because of the sound. But in my opinion, wherever she stays at, she wants to take over. She wants everything to be her way. It's not her home, but she wants everybody to bow down to how she wants it to be. Her rules, even though it's not her house. And, this is her mother's house, and her brother lives there. And she still wants, them to cater to her, even though she is the guest. And she caused a lot of issues. And in my opinion, she does not know how to let anything go. And she does instigate arguments. We have seen videos where, she can walk away, or she can put the phone down and not put her family's business out there and not film them. I mean, can you just imagine if you allowed someone to come into your home? They have nowhere to go. And, they got in trouble with the law. You bailed them out. You're allowing them to come into your home, and they're bad-mouthing you constantly on social media. And then not only that, but they are filming you without your consent and putting your face and your business out on social media. So there's that. That would not make me very happy. I don't think it would make anybody happy. And I don't think, well, I know for a fact if someone was doing that in my home, I would be saying there's the door, family or not. But again, her mom let her come back, and there's another altercation between her and her brother. And she does put a video out there of him snatching the phone out of her hand. And because she's going, again, to film him. Now, I understand if you're going to, if you need, for evidence or whatever. If there's an altercation and, you're going to take someone to court or whatever. But Leticia is filming all the time to put it on social media, on her channel. We know this. And like I said, they're not giving her family's not given their consent to put their faces out on social media. So he snatches the phone, and I guess she said he goes outside. That's all you see is a little snidbit of that video of him taking the phone. And I guess her mother does step in and says, give her back her phone. She says it's a $500 phone. And again, she's on disability. She talks about, how she doesn't have any money. She has nowhere to go. She doesn't have this or that. But she can afford that $500 phone, right? I know they have government phones out there where it's free. She might not be able to stream. I don't know. But, she's got that expensive phone. I don't know. She might be on the prepaid. I know they have those plans. I don't have that. I am with the carrier. I have 3 lines on mine. But I know they have the prepaid that might not be that expensive. But when you are homeless and you are asking or expecting people to supply you with everything, sometimes you got to do what you got to do to really cut back on everything, right? To try to get into a home, no matter what it takes. I mean, everything, it adds up. So the gas money that she did for all this traveling, I've said that before. Instead of driving all over, for hours to meet up with these men on Bumble for a safe place to stay for the night. Gas isn't cheap. We all know that. How the gas prices went up. Save that money back and fill out all that paperwork that she's supposed to fill out, that she's sick of doing it over and over and over again, like she said. I'm sorry, but a lot of people have to do that. And yes, there's different places that, it's just not like one place. You fill out the paperwork for like one source or what resource or whatever. There's other places, and you're going to have to do it over and over again to try to get into maybe their housing or whatever. And yes, you're going to have to keep doing it. Caseworkers, nurses, doctors, or whatever, they're not going to do it for you unless, they might do that for people that can't do it for themselves. Leticia can do all this crap for herself. If she can put out these videos and she can travel around and drive all over the place, she could absolutely fill out paperwork, okay, to try to get herself a home. That's pretty clear. But anyways, I'm kind of all over the place because the video that I did, it was like over an hour long. And now that new things came to light, it just really threw me for a loop. So now I'm kind of all over the place, kind of like Leticia is with her videos, because she's really all over the place. But anyways, she is making the choice, and she stayed, I guess, for 3 days, and she got into this altercation with her brother, and she tells her mother, she does another video where she's filming her mother, and her mother is basically cleaning the kitchen, and she's not saying much. Leticia is running her mouth and, just saying a bunch of stuff, and her mother's really not, she's just cleaning. And we hear Leticia talking a lot about, she's a germaphobe and just really down in, her mother's place and stuff. It looks pretty clean to me. And you hear her mother in the background saying a few things, but Leticia talks over her a lot so that in my opinion, that you can't, so you don't hear some of the things that her mom has to say. And her mom you do hear her mom say in the background, well, I couldn't get you to fill out the HUD paperwork and stuff like that. So that tells me that Leticia might have filled out maybe one, a paperwork for maybe one place, and then that was it. Out of her own mouth, she was sick of filling out, paperwork over and over again to different places. that's what you got to do. Not fill it out just for one place and say, I'm done, right? Um, and then Leticia also made a comment about a doctor's appointment um, that her mother did not want to take her to, I guess. It was like an hour away. And I think this doctor's appointment was to look at the baby's heart. And Leticia talked about this in the hospital, and I think what it was about is because of all that ibuprofen she took. Don't quote me on that. But they wanted to look at like heart chambers, maybe, or something, or maybe they already did that. She, again, said it was to listen to the baby's heartbeat. That kind of makes no sense that you got to drive an hour away just to listen to the baby's heartbeat. Maybe that's where her doctor is. I don't know. But she said that her mother said, well, since the father doesn't care about the baby and the mother doesn't care about the baby, why should I care about the baby? That's what Leticia said. But you hear her mother in the background say, um, well, I'm getting sick of you threatening this baby's life over and over again. You do hear her mother say that. Maybe not in those exact words. It's been a little bit since I listened to that video. Um, but that's very telling. You have a woman that is sick and tired of listening to her daughter threatening this unborn child, and at this point in time, she's just kind of over it. She knows that they are not going to allow Leticia to have this baby, to keep this baby. She's homeless. She has nowhere to go. And then she's got this court thing going on. She does have a warrant, an active bench warrant out for her. And I said before that I don't know why they don't just come out and arrest her. But I think she's in a different jurisdiction. Goodness, I'm getting tongue-tied. Jurisdiction. So I don't think they're just going to come out and get her. And I know that makes... We're thinking to ourselves, but she's made so many threats on this unborn baby, what she's going to do to the baby afterwards. And it makes a lot of people angry because if something happens to this baby, if she is one of those that when she has this baby and they find a baby unlived afterwards because she loses it, they have had plenty of red flags and plenty of warnings from previous videos of what she was going to do. Then, in my opinion, they should be held responsible as well because they didn't do anything. But can they do anything? That's the question. I don't know. Now, I thought that they would, try to pick her up and hold her until the next court date. And I also said that, in my opinion, she manipulated the system and got, took whatever she could take with that ibuprofen. Not enough to unlive herself, but enough to get put in the hospital to miss that court date, thinking that they would reset it. And I think that the reset is for the bondsmen. They have to produce Leticia by January. I'm not sure. Or the court date's in January. It's kind of... it's really hard to understand what that paperwork actually is stating. I think there is another court date, but it's in January. Maybe they're giving it time to... for this baby to be born, and they can do the DNA test and find out when the due date is. I don't know. I'm not sure what they're, and maybe that's as soon as, because when you have to reschedule court, sometimes it takes months. I said that in one of my other videos. It takes months because, courts are filled up. And, throwing a pregnant woman in jail... Jails are filled up too, right? So sometimes, they're not going to want to put a pregnant woman, especially this far along pregnant, in jail for a non-violent crime. So, but the thing is she's a danger, in my opinion, to herself, to this child, and to the people around her. That's been my opinion from day one since I've been watching her videos. And again, I have not watched all of her videos. I wish I had the time to really sit down and go through every single video. I've watched a lot. Now, she's back on YouTube, and I've watched some of her YouTube videos, but I have not got to watch them all because she does put so many videos out there daily, so it's hard to keep up with them all. But she says goodbye to her mother. She decides she's going to leave again. She would rather sleep in the car than to stay with her mother. Yes, I understand she does not get along with her brother, and she has issues with her mother as well. She's got a love-hate relationship with her mother, in my opinion. But, you know, again, just my opinion, if I was in her shoes and I had nowhere to go, I think I would kind of suck it up and stay away from the brother, because we know that, like I said, Leticia just goes on and on. Her mother did say that too. She just does not know how to just drop it. She'll just keep going and going and going. And then she puts it out on social media. But I would just kind of keep my distance. She has a car. She can go somewhere when she chooses, right? If her brother, ticks her off or whatever, she can get in her car and go for a drive. I mean, she goes for a drive, hundreds of miles all the time. Or she could just go in the room and say, okay, get away from the situation. But she wants to argue with him, in my opinion, and escalate it so she could put it on video to show how dysfunction her family is. And I have nothing good to say about her brother because of some new things that came to light that I will talk about in my next video. But if I were in her shoes and this close to a due date, and if I was pregnant and I was homeless, and it especially being summer and hot, I think I would stay put, right? It doesn't look like, they're going to come out and arrest her. But I just don't see that happening. Now, if she goes to the hospital, will they arrest her then? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But anyways, she does a video, and she says her goodbyes to her mother and tells her mother, you're not going to hear from me again. Don't message me. I'm not going to message you. And you don't really get a reaction from her mother. Again, her mother bonded her out and gave her a place to stay. We love our kids unconditionally, right? So, I don't know. This is really hard because, again, from some new things that came to light, I feel for the mother. I do. But again, on my next video, I'm going to go into more detail. I feel for her because she's had to put up with Leticia for a long time and what she does. But I said before, we don't know what the family dynamics were. And we don't know what Leticia had to go through as a child to maybe make her be the way she is now, or if it's just a mental illness that she has. We don't know. But there's new information that has come to light. So and I'm going to share that in my next video. And I always thought that there was something that might have happened when she was a child or an adult, young adult, or whatever. But we just don't know. But I do feel bad for her mother trying to, help her adult children out. She's an elderly woman. And, these children, adult children, should be doing more for themselves. I mean, you love your children unconditionally and you're still going to, help them out no matter if they're an adult or not. But to have them disrespect you and want to come in your home and, basically take it over or change, your rules or whatever and not be, not appreciate you helping them. I just, my kids would never do that. But, I have a good relationship with my adult children, a very good, open, close relationship with them. So I can't see that, ever happening. I can't see my children are like Leticia. And yes, they had some issues growing up because of their father, because he was violent. But, you have to make decisions when you become an adult what path you're going to take. Are you going to be a victim or are you going to be a survivor? So, anyways, she's now living in her vehicle because she left from her mother's. And she didn't go to that doctor's appointment, to check the baby's heart. Again, she keeps saying, why should I care? I don't think Leticia has had very good prenatal care. Now, she says, I have done a great job sustaining this baby, however she says it. Really? Okay, then. If you say so, you smoke that pot like a chimney, okay? Constantly. You travel, you sleep beside all these strange men for a safe place to stay. You put yourself in danger, not thinking about this unborn baby. Being out in the heat. You took, that ibuprofen, all that ibuprofen. You're stressing yourself out. You can calm yourself down, but you're putting these videos out and you're just, doing the screaming and yelling and whatever, stressing yourself. So yeah, okay, if you say so. You didn't do the work to, in my opinion, to try to find housing because, she wants everybody to do it for her. And I find it, I'm going to kind of skip ahead. This is not going to be a long video, and I know I was all over the place. Because she did put out quite a few Instagrams, and I'm just not going to go back and go over them because they're basically the same thing over and over. I want pot. I'll trade myself. She hasn't been talking about pot that, how she needs pot and stuff. So I'm just assuming she has her pot. Okay. But she did talk about, meeting up with somebody or whatever, another stranger to get her pot. She's not getting it from her brother. Well, she did say that when she went back to her brother's that she got some like shake, she said. So not the good stuff. He was being greedy with it. I mean, okay, Leticia. So, but she basically is, it's just over and over again. She talks about, you know, a lot about Jason. And I noticed as well, she does say, well, what if he's not the father? It could be, the other one. she will stick to, or she's starting to talk more about maybe, the other one being the father too. I've noticed that. Even though she is still obsessed with Jason as being the father and talking about him a lot. And I think, like I said in my other videos, Jason seemed to be the one that that ticked all those uh, boxes for her on being the father of this baby. Don't know if he is or not. He could be. Um, but something just tells me that he isn't. Uh, just, I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever know unless, he comes forward and talks about it. But we're going to talk about that in the next video. Like I said, this video was all over the place. I do apologize because new things have come to light, but I'm not ready to talk about that yet. It will be in my next video. And it'll explain more. I'm just not prepared to do that yet. About her past, because some people have came forward from her past, and it might shed a little bit more light on Leticia and maybe why she does what she does. And then I need to find the time to listen to some of her videos that she has put out that I haven't listened to yet. Like I said, she has so many that she does daily, and it's just hard to keep up with all of them. And I'll never be able to go back and listen to all her videos. I don't have the time for it, or even listen to all the ones that she puts out there. I don't have the time for that either. So it's just kind of fast forward through some of her videos. But anyways, I am going to go ahead and end it on that. Again, I do apologize. I was all over the place. I just wanted to do kind of a brief video on, she's back on YouTube. She was staying at her mother's for a few days. She left again on her own. She wasn't kicked out, so she's making the choice again to be in the car so close to her due date, whenever that may be. It could be any day now. It could be the September 4th day that she's given. It could be a few days after. She's getting very close. But she did another video too where, in my opinion, she was faking that she was in labor. Oh my gosh. This girl can act. Well, she's a bad actress. But it was called I Almost Gave Birth, or something like that, or nearly gave birth in my vehicle. And I'm sorry, and then she said what was Braxton Hicks, or this could be Braxton Hicks. The whole video was just totally stupid, okay? If she was having contractions that close together, her butt would have been on the phone calling 911. I don't think she is going to, in my opinion, have this baby on her own, because she couldn't handle whatever, if it was fake, whatever those little tiny pains were. So without whining and crying and acting like she was doing her breathing, and it was just bad acting, very bad acting. And then she was like, no, 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 no. I mean, it's not time yet. It's just not time yet. It's too soon. It was just absolutely ridiculous. She would not win an Oscar, okay? So I'm going to end it on that. And like I said, I know I was all over the place, but the next video I do, it'll make a little more sense. We're just not going to backtrack on, when she was on Instagram and just coming back to YouTube. But she is on YouTube, and I don't know if she's back to being monetized yet or not, or if she's still monetized. Uh, but anyways, I will be putting a video out real soon, because we're also going to discuss some people, because people are really sending her money. People are offering her a place to live. Guys, you have to really be careful with this woman. You really do. You already see what she is doing to not only Jason, she has done this to other people. She has got kicked out of all the shelters she goes to. She claims that everybody steals from her, and I think that's why she got kicked out of shelters. She has accused the women of stealing from her. Um, and I seen that in the chats. I know I said I was going to end this, but and I'm going to talk about this more too. She does a lot of accusing people of doing things to her, and I know, I don't even know if I just said this. I know I've said this in the past. That's why I said in my past videos. I know I have said that, in my opinion, she's a danger to other people around her, because when you make accusations like this, you can, cause a lot of issues with people's life, with their real life. People that are reaching out to help you, right? And there's a lot of people that are saying that, she can come stay with them until the baby's born, or even after that, and these people in the chats are being sincere. They are, I mean, they're giving her, yeah, she is monetized. I'm sorry, because I did see super chats. I'm sorry. They're giving her super chats, and they seem like they are very sincere. She does have a lot of people that actually believe her story, which I find very bizarre, unless they haven't really listened to all of her videos. You can tell some of them are kind of new, and they're just listening to some, and they really believe that she was ARD. We're going to be very careful when we say the K word, on live. We're just going to use, don't want to get struck. YouTube and Facebook are really policing. So we're going to be really careful, and we're going to use R and K and unlive. We're going to be really careful what we do there. But she does have a lot of trolls, I have to say that, or a lot of people that do not believe her BS, okay? But, and you have a lot of people that might be nasty to her, but then you have a lot of people that actually believe her. They believe her, and you have people that are financially backing her. You're backing her drugs, okay? That's what you're doing. You're supplying her. I can't say drugs. I don't know what else she's on. I know she's on marijuana, and to me that's a plant, okay? But she is pregnant, and she's smoking like a chimney. But she's not using that money to buy any baby things if she even wanted to try to take care of this child in any way, which hopefully she never gets to even touch this baby, in my opinion, okay? But she's not using any of the donations to purchase anything for this baby. She does not want this baby adopted to a good, loving home. She wants it in the system. She's okay with that if it goes into a foster home and stays in a foster home for the rest of its life and never gets adopted by a loving family, which we know newborns will get adopted out, right? Because there's a shortage on newborn babies to be adopted. But she would rather this baby never go to a loving home, because she's against that. But she's okay if the baby is, stays in the foster system for the rest of its life, because that's how much she doesn't care. People need to realize that. It's all about her. She does not care about this baby. She's made that clear. She doesn't care about it. She doesn't care about nobody but herself. And there is a lot of people that support her. And we're going to talk about that on another video as well. You got to be careful. And it seems like when she reads or she's looking at the chat, if you're a female and you're trying to reach out to help her, she wants no part of it. The only ones that she is connecting with are the males. The males that are talking to her or reaching out to her, that's who she'll talk to. She won't talk to you females that are trying to reach out and help her. I don't know if anybody has picked up on that. She'll talk about the males. She'll meet up with males for a safe place to stay. But not a female. Make that make sense. So we're going to end it on that. And again, I do apologize about being all over the place. It'll make sense when I do the next video. So we'll talk to you again.